Thanks indeed for staying with us. It's so much talked about the coronavirus or COVID-19. Somewhat since that name COVID-19 was given, it appears it's not sinking as fast as the coronavirus. Before that time, most times people use that interchangeably here, but prominently many still talk about the coronavirus. But somewhat, we're still going on with the UN name here, COVID-19, and in all of these is one very terrible sickness. We're no longer defining it again here. But the issue is that it is right here with us and right here in the Federal Capital Territory. So much is going on. Some persons are already quarantined at the Gogolada Specialist Hospital. Many thanks. All of these cases are indeed those who flew in to the country. That's why critics are saying we ought to have shut down our borders long ago before now. In the FCT, we got 4 cases here, as you heard from that briefing when Dr. Josephine was speaking. The Director of Public Health of the FCT spoke. She made it very clear as that yesterday afternoon, but we've not known what have happened now. Well, somehow, these are very big persons here. Most of those who flew in Lagos is having a tough time. The worst hit is Italy. We thought China was sad, but now state like a province like Wuhan appears to be resting now, having fought their own headlong. But the Italians are having the very worst of time, worst of history, very painful one. The US, the UK and others not faring well at all. And like what someone said comically on the social media, those days you tell people you just touched down from Europe and everyone sees you as a king. But now when you say that here, some guys are going to make a telephone call and you will likely be quarantined immediately. Even those persons who live in estates where some persons flew in from Europe quickly had to make call that somebody just came in from Europe here. That person would likely need to be observed quickly, go into self-isolation and possibly quarantine. My name is Iharuata. This morning we'll be looking at the outbreak of the coronavirus, COVID-19 in the FCT here. And we have with us 2 persons here. On my immediate right is Dr. Teresa Ekaite Onwanchukwu, Deputy epidemiologist here, FCT Public Health Department. And on my far right is one you know so much here, looking younger after retirement here, sanitarian Agoechi Simon is retired as a retired director in environment health in the FCT. He was working there with Babashe Lawal, and he is one president of the Environmental Health Officers of Nigeria from 2011 to 2020, if I'm right here. And he has been a you both welcome to the program. Thank you very much. Now, Doctor, let's quickly start with you. Give us an update. You are in the rapid response a team of the FCTA here. How far, how well are we going when it comes to the issue of the COVID-19?
Thank you very much, Atta, for inviting us to speak with you and with the public on what is going on. Even before we had the virus confirmed in the FCT, we had been doing a lot. We had been surveying, doing surveillance, we had been keeping data, we had been following up. And once it arrived in the FCT, we were able to pick up the cases thanks to the NCDC. So the update is that officially the incident management structure has been announced, has been launched, the EOC has been activated, and we saw the press conference yesterday. We're following up the cases. As you said, NCDC has announced 4 cases in the FCT. We're following up with all the contacts. We're following up with all the people who are in contact with this person. Those who are sick have been moved to the treatment center, and they're receiving care, and they're doing well. So that's the update, as you saw in that.
Okay, the update. How many cases do we have suspected? How many cases confirmed? Where are they at the moment? How are they at the moment? What about the issue of panic? We need details from you. Everyone now will be watching you here.
I know.
As you are in that team.
Yes.
Apparently you would have seen them.
Yes.
I think you would have seen them. You have seen those people who are carrying coronavirus.
Definitely.
How do they look for? Somebody will be asking you.
Well,
what the fears are they on the street?
The truth is that the cases that we've taken to the center, they're doing very well.
They eat well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're very cooperative because they knew what it meant. So they actually would walk themselves to the ambulance when we went to evacuate them, and they went to the hospital. We're communicating with them. They're fine. They're fine. So
anyone to visit them?
People are allowed to visit them. Not directly. You can call and speak to them, but, you know, because we're in isolation, so it wouldn't be nice to expose them to the public. But their friends have access to them on the phone. So they're not in prison. They're not in prison. They're just undergoing care, and to the extent that they cannot meet with the public until the test negative. So while they are in isolation, they'll be tested serially until they prove negative, and then they'll be released. So that's the protocol everywhere, and they're fine. For now, we have... when
you saw them and when you met them, how were they looking?
They were fine. They were fine.
I know everyone
because you're specifically asking, I'm part of the team that actually moved 3 of them to the hospital. I mean, the first 3 cases. Yes. Well, someone has to do it. I mean, if everyone is afraid, who will move these patients? Who goes to take the samples? Who goes to see them? Who goes to do the contacts? We have to be the ones to do that. So we can't afford to be afraid. We can't afford to panic. We have to do the work. The doctors, the nurses, the epidemiologists, people in the public health department, there's no break. Even if the system shuts down, we can't shut down.
You kitted or you went?
Well, we took the right steps. We know what we're supposed to do. We know the way we're supposed to be dressed. We know we have to protect ourselves. So we did that. NCDC has the protocols. There are global protocols that are in place. And so it is our responsibility to protect ourselves. But there's no room to say we're afraid. There's no room to say, oh, how do I go in to meet this patient? Because somebody needs to deal with them and interface with them and protect them also. So,
okay, I'll come back to you now.
Right.
Let's come to you, Mr. Simon, here. As if we know this will happen, you had spent 3 years or 4 years coming to this program regularly, and you've been hammering on the need for proper public health and environmental health here, and you've hammered on that. Are you shocked that at this point we are trying to adjust?
Well, I want to thank you for inviting me for this program. It is important that we tell ourselves the truth on issues of national significance. Okay. Our attitude towards preventive medicine leaves more to be desired in our country. Okay. We have always said prevention is better than cure, but when it comes to practice, we are practicing vice versa. Okay. And that's not good for us. We are talking about post-Ebola. Ebola came, and we started seeing the need for personal hygiene, but immediately Ebola left, went back to square one. That ought not to be. Some of the schools who have sanitizers, the sanitizers disappeared.
But even your office as well.
Well, the truth about
it... Am I correct, sir? Even your own office,
you are right.
In your office.
You are right.
As a director in environmental.
But as a matter of fact, it's boiled down on leadership. When you have a right leader, and you have someone who knows what it takes to set a good example, that will be fixed. You have always known me to be somebody who is very proactive on issues like this. Okay. I have paid the price. I have left the system as a director. I did what I ought to do. I did my best, even in terms of putting policies on ground. Only God knows what happens to those drafts.
But how come when it comes to environmental health, public health, it appears as if somehow we only wake up when we have this person? Because when Ebola came, you were here and you talked so much on the need for the environment, need for public health, sanitizers, everything. But when we thought that Ebola was gone...
Well, a research was carried out by somebody in West Abuja on issues of environment. Okay. One of the outcome of that research was that the average citizen in the Federal Capital Territory know what to do. But there exists an inertia to do what is right. So, if we have uncompromised enforcement in place, that will correct a lot of things. Because we have had people who are educated.
No, let me cut you. I know we followed China, and I know as well Dr. Ekaiti also followed China here. We saw some videos that really shocked us. Heavy spraying going on the streets of Wuhan.
Well, you know...
Does that not shock you?
You know, when...
An environmentalist.
When an emergency comes like this, almost everybody becomes emotionalized. Not everybody will want to sit back doing nothing. Some they must do something, whether it's wrong or right. But it's most important thing that something's been done. Like you have just asked Dr. now, what is he doing about this situation? She has told you what they are doing from the office. But the question is, what we are doing, is it right? It has to be right. We can't say that we are running towards a direction, we don't know where we are going. We should have a direction, we should have a focus, we should have a plan ahead of time. Our nation has been that of reactive, not being proactive. We ought to be proactive. We need to have plans in place. If this happens, what do we do? I'm sure doctor would have told you some limitations they have in their office. Personally, I'm not aware of spaces that are being created for emergencies. You know about the IDPs. I've been there. I've seen things for myself. The kind of unpreparedness and deception that we have in our system. We need to come out of that to address issues the way they are, so that the average citizen will be patriotic. You know, when we see things like this, it affects all of us. So it's important that, having talked about personal hygiene, let us all make up our mind to practice it.
Okay, I'll come to you. Doctor, now, let's not look at it from the angle that what I think the sanitarian raised here, the issue of our preparedness here. For now, the case appeared to have become 4. At first, it was none at all. Yourself, the team have met with the minister and explained to him that the point of Lazar, when we saw Corona hitting Lagos, that you are on top of the game. Somewhat the airport, we are not short. Nobody can blame you for that. And the guys came in here, they came in with their luggage, and they came in with Corona. Now that we had this, and you have 4 persons here, how prepared are you in the advent of an expansion?
So what we are doing now, knowing what the trend has been with this disease, we can almost anticipate that we're going to get more cases. And so we've talked about it.
Is that not like the Nigerian man will tell you, God forbid, it's not our portion. Just go ahead.
Yeah, so that wouldn't help. That mindset of God forbid will not help us. It's not that we want these cases to come, but we need, like he's talked about, we need to be prepared. What if the cases escalate? What we're trying to do at this time is to prevent local transmission. Right now, all the cases that we have seen are people who came in from outside the country. So these are all imported cases. We have not seen anyone right now who contacted in the FCT, who contacted the disease without traveling out. So what it means, what the advantage we have right now is that we probably don't have local transmission. And so it's important for us to say, what do we do to ensure that that doesn't happen? And that's why I'm aware that the government has placed a ban on schools should shut down, people should stay indoors as much as possible, because we're trying to prevent someone who has it from giving out to others. Because that was what happened in China. They basically shut down the system, and the transmission pattern slowed down and came to an end. So the virus needs someone to survive. So if there's no one to pass it on to another person, then it will naturally die, right? So how prepared are we? The government is doing a lot. Why am I here? There are other people probably who would have been here to speak to you, but they're on, making preparations. They're visiting sites. They're getting prepared, places prepared. What if we have more cases? Where will we keep them? So those plans and those conversations.
Tracing of those who came with that airline.
Okay, so we have the manifest of those who came, and from there we're able to you cannot trace everyone who came on the airline, but what we're doing right now is to say this is where this person sat, these are maybe seats before, behold, and then on the right.
Toilet they used together?
Absolutely. So we're following up. We have the names.
The plane entrance. What about those who climbed the rail and had to put all the corona hands on the rail?
I want to expect, Mr. Atta, that the planes know that they need to, even before this, once a flight goes down, they clean the aircraft, they decontaminate. And then you know that even while you're in the aircraft, they decontaminate.
But as this person was climbing, the person will just, if he's not too smart person, he may put the hand on.
Well, we cannot speculate, because even as we're walking, we are touching things. So we know that these are the dangers, and that's why we encourage washing hands at all times, because you have no idea, even where you're sitting, somebody may have touched it. So the planes know what to do in terms of decontamination. But you asked me about contacts, and we are following up the contacts.
Yes.
All the the positive cases, we have visited them. We send teams out to their homes. We line list everyone who has been in contact with them, with family members, their friends, where did they go? And most of them actually stayed in. Isolation. Yes, they actually had some level of self-isolation. So we found out the level of contact that we have is not as many as we would have had. In fact, we can't even compare it to the level of contacts we had for Lassa fever. So the level of contacts we've noticed with these cases are much fewer than, because many of them stayed indoors. So, but even beyond the positive cases, there are other people who call the NCDC call center, and NCDC call center sends those calls to us. We call them up. We follow up with them, and then we go for those who are symptomatic. Oh, I came in from the UK, I came in from Europe, I traveled to 3 countries, and I'm having cough and catarrh. We actually go there, we take samples from them, and we send them to the lab. So far, all those lab results have come back negative. We still have some samples that are in the lab that we're awaiting the results.
How long was it taking in the lab?
Because it's slowing down now, within 24 hours, we'll get the results. So right now, it's still about 24 hours. About 24 hours, we're getting results from them. So if we took samples we took yesterday, by the end of today, very likely we have the results. Usually the turnaround time is shorter the fewer the cases. So when you have many cases going in, then the time gets longer. But right now, within 24 hours, we're getting our results.
Okay, Senator Simon, now, in a case like this where we need to address the environment now, what would you be advising us to be doing? Because government cannot do all.
Well,
what should we be doing?
Well, before I address that,
okay.
I have found out that having to talk about social distance, now, you see, we need to also have social distance with animals. Some of these diseases are zoonotic diseases that are infecting us because we have people sleep with dogs in this city. I find it difficult to even tell a man that this dog cannot stay with you at home.
The dog is the pet.
And the man insisted that the dog, that they are used to the dog already. And I said, what about your neighbors? I felt bad, you know. Some of the actions that have been taken, people don't seem to understand. I'm happy that we are not having the cases here, but the cases are coming from outside. These guys are very used to animals. I think the laws should be laws should be put in place.
If we keep animal, doctor?
Well, we're not aware right now that there's transmission from dogs, like he's talking about. So maybe he's talking about
from the carrier to an animal.
There's no data to show that. Yes, I'm not aware of that. Remember, this is a new virus, so who knows what we'll find out in years to come. But right now, there's no information or data to show that there's transmission from a human being to an animal. But of course, we all know the history of this virus from the wild animal market and all of that. So wild animals. So we're not sure that they're domestic pets that are carrying these viruses. So maybe so that people don't get alarmed that, oh, if I keep a dog in my house, I might have coronavirus and all of that. There's no evidence for that right now.
Okay,
we had people keeping wild animals in the city, and we have to confiscate them, hand them over to the zoo.
Wild animals?
Yes. In fact, the reports were that, you know, monkeys are not supposed to be kept. So, though some of the cases were handled head-on because we knew the impact of it to be on the public. So some of those strange animals were confiscated and handed over to the zoo.
Now,
to keep the public safe.
Our own environment, like you have always done. You know, those days, I don't know about now, but I know when we were growing up then in the barracks, people dressed like you always come around our houses, talk to our parents who are soldiers. We see them in other parts of where we grew up, going around houses. It's like a daily routine. You check the toilets, you check the environment, you check the grasses, you ask for the curtain, you go everywhere, you look at the glasses, you check the cobwebs. You just tend to be prognosing in people's matter. But now it appears we're not doing that here. And now here we got Lassa, here we got Corona, Ebola left us. We don't know what's coming next.
Good and fine.
What happened? Then we lost the script.
We lost it when we did not see the significance of an environment officer in our healthcare system. In fact, this issue came up a professor, let me not mention him here, a pediatrician, saw the need to remove environmental officers from the system in Nigeria. And we were all shocked. At a point I asked, what did we do that brought the substitution of community health officers to replace us? You know, the healthcare system has a challenge. As we speak now, we have only one environmental officer in Gwagwalada Area Council. Tell me.
One, like, just one.
One. What do you think the officer can do? The chairman doesn't see the need to employ environmental officers. So the government needs to go back to WHO ratio of one environmental officer to 8,000 population. If we care for our lives, you know that we are supposed to be at the borders. Go there. How many of us are there now? Go to the airport. Go to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport. How many environmental officers are there? You can see that we have missed it by not giving preference to preventive medicine. In those days, it was not like that. The colonial masters, they knew prevention was key. You know it. Malaria will not be there if we control the vector. You got it? Ah, they dealt with the vector. But today, are we dealing with vector? We are buying mosquito nets. Waste are being thrown all over the place. Building grants are ongoing. In fact, I just discovered that we need to really agree that we have missed it but in the area of priority.
Now, away from those who missed it now. Yeah, we have missed it. But here we have something. What will you be telling us?
We will have to employ environmental officers adequately to monitor the population of this country. From north to south.
But for me, who cannot employ one now, and I'm watching you here, and I'm afraid of corona, and Dr. Kaite have told us something, what will I be?
What
will I be doing? Am I correct, doctor? Now, what will I be doing in my house? Because we know people had panicked in one estate in Maitama that somebody had come in with a sign of coronavirus, and the person had panicked.
Well, one we have to advise that we should be consistent in our personal hygiene. Also, food hygiene. Yeah. Food hygiene. What we eat. We discover that those who are bringing problem now, the way they eat. If you have watched some of the videos, you can't believe it. Eating raw meat. In fact, you know that these things are not really ideal.
Raw earthworm.
You can imagine some of these things have brought about some of these effects. And then lastly, I want to say that if you talk about hand wash, you should know how to properly wash your hand. It has been found out that if we properly wash our hands...
Any secret to washing?
Yes. There's a way you wash your hand, and we agree that you have washed your hand. Okay. Some people don't wash your hand. They just put your hand inside water and do like this. No! You have to properly wash your hand. You have to be taught on how to wash your hand.
Just coming out the water.
No.
Removes whatever I want.
No, you have to wash properly.
Okay.
You know, we have been taught all this. We have been taught all this. So that by the time you say you have washed your hand, we agree with you that you have washed your hand, and we follow the procedure.
Okay, my time is almost gone. We'll be having you on a stretch interview after now, Mr. Simon, a very stretch interview.
And let me just drop this. I know that some of the things that we have known, we have to share it in a public, occasion like this. I know that onions and viruses, they are not friendly. So, for those who care, they could put onions in their various rooms.
Or for those who
the onion, just cut the top and put it in the direct place in the room. You take care of the viruses.
Okay,
yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
I can't confirm that. I can't confirm that. Really.
Okay, Doctor, now, our time is going now. Quickly, just the last question here. What will you be advising those who are watching us now? There's panic and everyone's afraid. Our kids are all at home. We don't know who is who. I know yesterday someone told me that the wife said, look, even if she was among the 50 people choosing to go to church, she knows she had cough. She wasn't even going. Right. And someone said they even go to church, and maybe by virtue of anything, somebody sneezed, and the whole church just cut off, and had to start to look at the man who sneezed and all of that. And what should we be looking at now?
At this point, we really appeal to the public not to panic. Not to panic. Well, panic doesn't solve any problem. So the first question you ask yourself is, if I panic, what do I achieve? So absolutely. So just keep calm. fear is also not a good thing. Yes. So a lot of people ask us, oh, are you not afraid? Like you asked that question. Oh, watch over yourself. Oh, I hope you're praying. Oh, I hope you're doing this. There's some people that still have to go out daily into the trenches. And I'm so thankful that from the acting secretary, from the minister, they're just not sitting in the offices, they're working on the field. So people shouldn't panic. People shouldn't be afraid. Remember that a vast majority of people who get the infection do well, especially young people. With a good immune system, they do well, they feed well, and they get over it just like a mild flu. So don't panic. And if you have symptoms, if you have traveled and you have symptoms, please call the NCDC call center. They'll de-escalate to us. Hand sanitizers, wash your hands all the time, 10 times a day, as often as possible. Just keep washing your hands. When you go in and come in, wash your hands at all times. And if you can, please stay indoors.
Okay, thank you very much.
The doctor mentioned something which I just want to emphasize. Build up your body immunity.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we'll be looking at all of those things. Dr. Teresa Ikaite, those who are already sick now with coronavirus in Abuja, you will be likely seeing them today. Please greet them for us.
Thank you very much. I know you're praying for them.
And all of that, and our hearts are with them, and we hope that they recover very quickly here.
Thank you very much.
And when you see them, let us know. Some of us will be asking, so you meet them constantly. Okay, we'll be talking with our Deputy Director, epidemiologist in the FCT Public Health Department, Dr. Teresa Ikaite Nwachuku, and Sanitarian I would say Simon, retired director from the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, and an environment health specialist. Thank you very much for coming. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll take our last guest for this morning.